Yo, what's up, YouTube? This is Talking Crazy 88, back again with another podcast on the balcony with a nice little cigar, my favorite. This tends to be my favorite, La Gloria Cubana, Series R Exteli. I love it. How's everybody doing on this beautiful Wednesday evening? Hope everybody's doing all right. I'm not going to keep y'all too long because I have better things to do than listen to an old man ramble about nonsense. Especially on a work night when you're trying to get some sleep so you can go out get up in the morning, go to work, because that's why I primarily talk to. That's going to be my audience, is the working man, the 9 to 5, even the business owners, the legitimate business owner that has to get up at 4:30 in the morning and work almost 12 to 16, maybe even 18 hours a day with no sleep, just to break even. My father was a working man. My brother was a working man. Most of my family members are working men. My uncles were working men. Very few Pookies. Very few Pookies that I really want to hang out with. So, I was on my Facebook page about a week ago, and this was a post in the group, Passport Bros are winning. And despite what I think about Passport Bros, they are winning. Even though they're putting out misinformation, you're paying for sex, you're paying for pussy. You're buying pussy. You're buying pussy over there, whether you know it or not. Hell, you buy it here. I mean, think about it. You may not give the money in the bitch's hand, but you're buying pussy by dressing up, going to Macy's and getting a nice little button-down shirt and some slacks and some Tom Ford shoes. You want to look presentable on your date with a young lady. All right? Pick the lady up in your car, which you have to buy gas back and forth to take this bitch wherever she needs to go. Wherever you got to pick that bitch up, or you got to drive to the meetup spot. So that's going to cost you some gas money. And then 9 times out of 10, you're going to have a normie date. You're not going to just go get some coffee and sit in the park and just talk. All right? So you're going to have to take the bitch out because the bitch wants to go out on a date and wants something to eat for free meal. All right? And this is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about primarily black women. But white women do that shit too. They're dinner whores. All women in this country, if you can ask them out on a date, 9 times out of 10, they're dinner whores. Because they're going to try to take that food home and not try to give you no pussy. All right? So this is what you have to deal with dating in the United States. So I'm for utilizing your passport to go out there and try to meet a better kind of woman. But you're going to be in a rude awakening because you're going to be buying bitches over there too. All right? You're already indirectly buying bitches anyway by buying a plane ticket and going to Colombia. That's the sole purpose of it is just to go out there and meet women. Date and smash women. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with it. I'm not condemning the brothers that go out there and do that shit. I mean, I'm going to utilize my passport, and like I said, if I go overseas, I don't think the women there are going to give a fuck about me. I mean, the regular ones. The hoes maybe, but the regular ones, nah. They may be curious of who I am. But if they find out that I don't speak the language, that I'm going to be there for a week, yeah, they're going to be like, all right, we'll have some fun. But I may give you some pussy, I may not. They may just give you pussy just to find out what a black American dick feels like. But I love TikTok Shop. But, it is what it is. But I want to really talk about this meme here. About here in the United States. Especially black women in the United States. And I've talked about it on various live streams and podcasts. And, that's what it is. It is what it is. It's the truth. As long as you're working a 9-to-5 job, as long as you're working 18 hours on a job, making money, making that retirement money, like Uncle Earl, like Big Uncle Earl, I got money. Oh man, I miss him. I haven't seen an Instagram post from Unc in a minute, so I got to find out if he's all right. I hope he's all right. But he has the right idea, but he's buying pussy here in the United States. Alright? That's all you need is a wad of cash, man. Save up go to your 9-to-5, get up early in the morning, get up to your job, your 9-to-5 job. Like I discussed last week, man. You make more money working with your hands than going to college. I hate to say that to you. I hate to say that to your brothers out there. Going to college is more of a black woman thing now. It used to be a man thing to go to college and go get a job, an office job, and that's it. But now back in the last 20, 25 years, maybe even 30 years, with all the layoffs and downsizing, there's not a lot of jobs out there in corporate America. There's plenty of work, but there is no jobs out there. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put in a description box about this brother, this content creator here on YouTube named Steve Hummus. Right? He's going to give you a lot of game on a lot of the jobs out there, man. That's what he does on his YouTube channel. That's how he makes his money. Is researching the type of jobs out there that you can qualify for. All right. So I want you to check him out. All right. But the truth of the matter is that that's what a lot of black women like. Even a so-called educated black woman. Remember, I talked about that woman here last week who was arrested along with her son and husband as a family. And this is what these stupid motherfuckers did as a family, is to go on a drive, to be the getaway drivers for her nigglet son to do a drive-by shooting in the Bronx at a courthouse. All right? Things like that, you're going to get people, it catches up with you. Now, I'm not the one to be speaking on morality because I've done a lot of fucked up shit when I was younger. Even now, when I'm older, I still do stupid shit from time to time. I'm not absolved from it. I'm not above anybody else in this world. I'm human. But the difference is I recognize my stupidness. And I correct it real quick and move on with life. Now, think about it like this: this woman had a nice little job, not a job, that's what it is a job, a nice little career in social services, spent the last 4 years working for the Mount Vernon Police Department in social services. They fucked it up by helping this little nigga do a drive-by shooting and being the getaway driver. And she was married to a Pookie. Yes, I said it, a Pookie. This wasn't a man, this was a male. Because she went along with this shit. She was the mastermind of this shit. She loved her son instead of raising her son. See, black people raise their sons. People love their sons. Mothers love their sons, but they raise their daughters. Okay? I want you people to understand that. See, this is why they're raising Pookies. And this is why Pookies have access. Now, see, when I was listening to Coach Greg Adams, CGA, Free Agent for Life, people, he broke it down that Pookies are not really winning, like you see in this meme right here, where you have all these women lined up to be with Pookie. The case is that with black women, you also got to understand that black women want to exhibit some control over the men in their lives. All right? Case in point, this punk ass bitch who lost her career, not for her man, but for her son. The man, her husband just went on the ride with her. Just went for the ride. She was the driver. He was sitting in the bitch. He was riding bitch. Told the boy to jump in the car. Let's go. So that's an example of some semblance of control. That this motherfucker can't do shit except, mac on other women and get them pregnant. But she tolerates it. She tolerates males. Black women don't really want a man in their life. They want a male of who they can control. Now, I'm gonna go through the comments here. I want you to read some of the comments here. First comments here. The first one is that women ignore nice guys and choose assholes. Then they complain about it. Now, generally, that is true because that is true with all women. The Hispanic women, they get with the essays. All right, until they want to settle down. White women, they get with the bikers. They get with the biker dudes, man. They get with them. They ride bitch on the back seat of their bike, running down I-95 down in Florida. Until they grow out of it. And they say, this is not the life for me. Let me go ahead and get married. Let me go to school. Let me buckle down. Let me do this. Get my shit straight because I'm white. I'm supposed to be like in the status quo. I shouldn't be out here getting criminal records. Okay? I shouldn't be out here fucking around. So they tend to gravitate to, that working man, that man that's, that working on boilers, making 106 figures working on boilers, who own a contracting company. You know how I know? I've seen it, nigga. I see it. I see it all the time. Let's go ahead and read this comment. Facts. The facts. They don't want a good man, which is necessarily true. They don't want a good. They really don't want. They really don't want that quote unquote. And I don't even like saying that I'm a good man. I don't even like putting that on you brothers right here. I would say that you are respectable. That you're not really good men. You're respectable men. All right. You go out there, get up in the morning, go to work, come home. You have to go through the bullshit at work and then come home. Then come home to even more bullshit if you have a black woman in your life. Okay? But, and then Calvin here says that's the difference between white women and black women. Young white women go for the best working guy, which is true. They do. They said not based in reality. Yeah, well, you know what? In reality, yeah, I would say that it's not the majority. I'm not going to say all. I'm not going to say all black women do this shit, do stupid shit like this, but the majority do. Even in reality. That's why when you're out there 35 years old and she's 35 with a 10, 12-year-old child. You gotta ask yourself that question. Do you want to hitch your start to that wagon? And you have no children? Nah, that's all right. Let me read this brother here, Donovan Marley. He says, I'm a hazmat truck driver. Granted, I trade stocks, made over 100K so far, 170K so far this year, but I've never been the dude that to just give money away. I don't care who you are, family, friends, lover, etc. I am still in love with. I am still in my life. Have never had a problem getting women. Okay. That's fine. Some guys don't have that issue. Some guys do. When I ain't have a car, I had no problem taking the bus. I just met a chick who makes 170K a year, and she took me on the second date. Not only do I get beautiful women, but I also get successful women. I'm currently dating a doctor and 2 lawyers, all who make equal or more, and they still fall in line. I also date some bad bums too. I don't have no picks. The simple problem is most dudes don't got it. They either lame as fuck, going after women who don't want them instead of going after the regular looking ones that's their speed, or refuse to do what they need to do to become more desirable. Now, let me stop right here. He does have a point. You know, when you run into a woman that says she has a type, this type, she doesn't have a type, it's usually the regular women. You know, I stopped going, you got to stop going after 8s, 9s. Well, you can still go after them, but don't expect to wife them up. There are women out here, I mean, I don't know what kind of women he's dating, but, you know, he seems to give out the game right here. I mean, if you're dating a doctor and 2 lawyers, they're not really 8s, 9s, and 10s. Let me tell you something. The women that are doctors and lawyers, they're not really 8s, 9s, and 10s. They're not dime pieces. All right? I'm just letting you know right now. These are women that are too busy to go out on a date, or too busy to go on a dating app, or too busy to sit at a lounge. You might be able to catch them at a lounge somewhere, sipping on some wine and listening to music and watching and being observant. Because I know that happened to me. You know, I was hollering at an attorney. Let me tell you something. There was this one, when I was at my job, there was this one Jewish attorney that I was like flirting with. I was like, yeah. But I was with someone at the time. But I saw some vibes. I was catching some vibes from her. I mean, she was a thick ass Jewish girl, man, with titties and ass, and especially when she was wearing her jeans, man, you could see the ass and everything. Curly hair, and, ooh, man, but she was not. But she wasn't a dime. She wasn't an 8, 9, or 10. She was more like a 4 or a 5 with titties and ass. A regular woman. Okay? And you know how those Jewish girls, man, especially if they're thick like that, you know, they're going to be blown out. And, you know, popping out one child, she's going to be blown out. If she's not in the gym somewhere. But what I'm saying is that if you can win here in the States, you can win over there. But let's think about some of the women that these passport bros are going after. I mean, there probably are 4 or 5s and -1s out there. Because I've never really, except when you go down to Colombia, but now they're shutting that shit down. The government of Colombia is shutting that shit down because there's too many niggas going down there. Too many niggas going down there. You know, getting robbed by these women down there. Getting poisoned and robbed down there. Now, you may say, talking crazy, it can happen up here, but you know, do you really want to use your passport to go down there to get some stinky vagina? Because they're not going over there to marry these women. They're barely learning the language down there. They're not going to spend an inordinate amount of time down there. They're not going to spend years down. Very few of them are going to spend years down there. And some of you brothers out here who working a 9 to 5, you can't really just up and leave and go out of the country, except for a 2-week vacation, PTO. That's why I had to be I was on that, let's get the fuck out of this country type of vibe, but long term, long term, you got to think of things in long terms. What are you planning on doing in these countries? What kind of jobs are you going to get? You're going to get a remote job? Okay, cool. That's cool, but keep in mind, it's a job. You don't own a business. Now, I can understand if you own a business here in the United States and you're making moves here where you're able to move overseas 6 months out of the year while watching your business, by running your business. But most dudes do not have that luxury. Alright, let me read this last comment here. Red black stats, y'all. The answers are there. These women who like Pookies, oh Lord, they're going to pay for that shit for the rest of their lives. And they usually do. So I guess what the purpose of this podcast is that I'm really talking to the working man here. There's no shame in what you're doing. You're a working man. You're making an honest living. You're probably making more money than me, man. You know, doing heavy equipment, becoming an electrician, heavy equipment worker, operator, crane operator, solar panel installer, solar sales. You're probably doing very well for yourself. HVAC, you're doing very well for yourself. And I want you to keep it up. Stack that cash because it gets greater later. All right? Save up your cash. There's plenty of work out there. There's no reason why you shouldn't be working. As a black man, you should always have a job. You should always be doing something. If you have one job, you should have two jobs. And these are the people until you have enough money to stabilize yourself or get into a career where you're able to stabilize yourself. So all in essence is I really shouldn't be talking about the Pookies because they ain't nothing to be worried about because they are being controlled by a woman. They are males. All right? They are males that are under the woman's program. They're not under their program. Just like that motherfucker that was on that drive-by shooting with his son and his wife. He didn't have sense enough to say, baby, this is not right. We can't just go out there doing a drive-by shooting. What the fuck is wrong with you? You ain't gonna fuck up your career like that for this little nigga. Let him go on down there by himself and do that bull job. Pookies are not winning. You are winning. You as the working man, black man, you are the ones that are winning. And you should be proud of yourself. Fuck these hoes. And they wonder why white women are winning with their men. They're winning with their men. But these white women are also looking at you, brother. They're looking at the working man like you are. They're looking at you, brother. You see how much time I got left. Let me go ahead and wrap this up. I got to turn in. I got to get up in the morning and get and go to my job. My 9 to 5. But listen, let me go ahead and get the fuck out of here. This is Talking Crazy 88, and I am out of here. And black men, let's be careful out there, all right?